It's the time to get down.
Anything goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time. I promised you more than eye candy. It's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. That's right. The good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Oh, okay. What?
Low extra.
Trying to get a unique intro.
I didn't
You
say
need
anything.
unique.
I was just letting you
Wait
know.
a minute. That's a unique.
No extra
Give a
today.
unique intro. You guys, okay, special for real. I mentioned it a little earlier. Trauma going around the world. People out protesting. Hundreds of thousands, multiple cities. Angry. Sometimes you get a little calmer with Donald, but then when you listen to him talk, you get scared, because I remember I watched those old Adolf Hitler videos and the Third Reich, and I know how that shit happened, and I studied it over and over again, and it's stuck up on the German people. So I'm saying you could have that. But the point is this. Conflict, I remind my friends, conflict is a part of every American change that has ever occurred. In fact, conflict and death. Change doesn't really change. When you have like good times, everybody's having parties and having a fucking great time. So there is no progress. They're happy right where they are. You just have to be old enough to recognize the pattern. Then when things get bad, rough, that's when you have the real progress, because the stumbling blocks then become the stepping stone. So before this occurred, I want everybody to know that I was indie. Promoting indie to black people who ignore you, essentially I realized that no one was taking me seriously whatsoever, at all. No one. 1%, 2%. Like that. Like nobody. So they don't even try. Y'all so busy. I can say it in a nasty way about the way black people are wed to the Democratic Party, and in different company I actually say it that way. Mm-hmm. I refer to us as to performing an act. But but let's just say black people are so wed to the Democratic Party that it's very difficult to pull them away. So hence no indie movement at all is being considered. But the shaming had already begun. Part of the reason why I invited my guest here today, Gia was already pissed off at people.
I was not pissed. I was imploring.
Oh, right.
With the public.
Fucking stop.
okay. Because I was sick of it.
That's not imploring. Okay. That's not imploring when you... Go on and tell him, Gia, about the part that was bugging you. Because everybody's post-election trauma is different. Well, so what's yours, Gia? You go first.
There was a couple of things that were bothering me, but it all led up to this.
I'm going to light something up while you're talking.
Be my guest.
One
of the things is when you say something is wrong during someone's whole campaign, and then you turn around and do the same exact thing that you said that person is wrong about, I have a problem with that.
Oh, like shaming? What are you talking about? I mean, be specific. It's you were defending Melania.
I was defending Melania because, one, I'm a woman, and
shit.
And two, I hold a public position as a neighborhood council person, and as I go further in my political career, I would hate to be in the position that she's in. Someone trying to bring up pictures of me, maybe when I'm like,
because you got them hot pictures. I got a little collection.
Everyone has the hot pictures.
Everyone in America has.
Everyone has.
I'm about to have me a Tiara collection too, by the way.
Wait, but Mario, let me say this. And if you do not have the hot pictures, you want hot pictures and you're jealous. You want to be hot.
Girl, I'm not blaming you for the hot pictures, girl.
I'm saying.
And I appreciate your
Melania is just a person. I love this. In plants we trust. Melania is just a person like everyone else. Yes. I don't care what she was doing 20 years ago, posing. Well,
I care, but I don't hold it against her.
I don't hold it against her, and I don't think there's anything wrong with anything that she did.
From that point.
Oh, so I got two black. Wait.
No. But I don't think that it's
two black women defending Melania Trump.
No, I'm
two
not.
black
No,
women.
we're not defending her. We're
Melania
defending
Trump.
her.
I am defending her right as a person and as a human being
proud of y'all.
to do whatever the
Not
hell
her.
she wants,
I don't
as
care
long
about
as she is not
what she's
committing
doing.
any atrocities, which she is not. The only thing that was
proud of y'all.
the only warranted shame or whatever drag under the bus she should have gotten is for that speech. But
I thought she did
First and
you
foremost.
guys. She got called to give a speech in front of the world because of her man.
Why would you do that?
That's a break. Give her a break. I was telling everybody I
You
work
know
for
your
people.
wife is not
She did
equipped
a
to do
great
that.
job.
Okay,
Right.
wait,
She did a great job to step up. That ain't her job to give speeches to the world.
Okay,
That's not
hold
her, that's
on.
not
She
her
did a
job
good
is
job
Wait,
as
she-
an amateur.
Okay, no.
I thought
That
she
is
did a good job.
Okay,
No.
I understand. How
I
you
thought
feel.
she did good.
No,
Maybe delivery.
that you
Thank you.
cannot. Okay,
It's
delivery for sure.
In front of
But
the world,
you can't
Gia.
you learn not to plagiarize when you're like 6 years old. Like,
Listen,
come on.
she
But you
didn't-
have to
but
have-
her man gave her that paper. You know,
But you have
see,
to have
no,
some
be
type
real.
of guilt
Melania, they
feeling
gave her
in
that
your-
shit, told her
you
what
have
to
to have
say.
some type of feeling, but like, I know I didn't. One of them had to have that feeling, like, I know this is so and so's. This is not an original.
I think that
Work.
it is. I feel
Somebody.
like when someone takes credit for something that they did not do, I find that offensive.
Yeah.
If someone took my work, which people have done without my permission, and
If someone
utilized
took
it,
your picture, like late at night, was just watching it, just over and over. Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, go
That's
on.
different.
Go on.
I know on Instagram there's a certain person that follows me on Instagram, and they practically steal all of the things that I say, from my comments to my post, and it's
Then
so
you're a super
irritating.
fan. But
I would
that-
just
that
ask
shows
them,
they love you. I give them a
But
job.
they don't like anything that I post. They only take my shit and put it somewhere else. And so I do have a problem with that. But however, as a woman, to stand naked in a picture, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think
don't.
if you're over 18, you could do it from age 18
You
to
can send me those
85
photos.
to
That's what you
whenever
wanna
you
do, so
die.
you can do that.
That doesn't say that you're
Send them to me.
immature.
Tell
It
them if
doesn't
you want me to show them, or if I can't. But I'll treasure them.
It's up to the eye of the beholder
Totally.
to figure out whether or not it's right or
special
wrong. And if
glasses.
someone looks at something like that and says it's wrong, then there's something inside of them that they are battling with, not the person.
So we won't go to look at any of Melania's photos
And
that
how
are
long
on
ago
air.
No,
was
you
that?
can look at him. I would look at him. Hell, I mean, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful
How long
woman,
ago?
and she has.
Huh?
How long ago was that? That was years ago, right?
I don't care if it was this year.
She's grown from that. She's not. That wasn't.
I don't
yesterday.
think you need to grow from anything to pose naked in a picture. I'm
You just
sorry.
defending nakedness.
I think that nakedness
You're
is
just a
perfectly
free
fine.
butterfly running naked through the fields and shit.
Yes.
I love that shit. Run, little butterfly. Run as Magic G and running naked through the trees.
I don't know if that would be
Titties
like.
bouncing.
I don't know if it'd be like.
I just-
No.
Gee, I'm just saying. I didn't. You can use a different adjective. But I'm just saying, it was the image of you running. It was natural and beautiful.
I think it
and
is
then
natural
you can
and
pose
beautiful.
Tiara next to a tree
Yeah.
I'll be next to the tree.
with just a branch.
It's okay because I don't have much. So it's
Girl, don't take.
fine.
Let's not. I've been there with that already.
Well,
we
Mario,
covered the breast size in previous
would you
shows.
participate, Mario?
I feel like
I
as a
can't run.
woman.
No. I want you.
As part of the
I'm gonna let
itty
you
bitty titty
finish.
committee.
No. You're putting them out there running through fields.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that. Gia. I didn't say Gia,
would
I
you
said
run with them?
Gia.
Gia.
Tiara said, "Don't you put me in some
I'm
of this."
stationary.
That's right, Tiara said.
I'm okay.
Like, at least you see, I know, right? At least you say, Marlon. like,
Now
yo,
go ahead, G.
don't
I'm
get
sorry
twisted.
for interrupting you because
Yes.
I
I
want
want
you.
to. I've
Yes,
posted
dear.
this many times before, and I just want to point out the hypocrisy because black people, especially, we want to look at Josephine Baker as like, a heroine in our race, and we want to look at, different people. Well, there's a picture that I posted to my.
And I can take. Is that an iPhone?
Yes, it is.
We can connect your phone right to the desktop.
Okay, well, there's a picture
Let me see.
that. Let
got
me
an
go
AirPlay.
to it first. And it's
if I
of
could do this
Josephine Baker.
Oh, I saw whatever. Oh, I love that picture. Let me back. I can find that picture.
Try
That
to
picture.
find it on my page because it's not.
Oh, it's on your page.
It's on my page. Go to my
Okay, hold on. There it is. There we live. Want y'all to see this
And-
wonderful integration. Black people doing this, by the way. I keep reminding you. Make sure everybody's clear.
and
I keep
let's
getting. Black people don't do technology. We do.
keep
okay.
scrolling down.
Oh, we're on your page. There you go, girl. Good. I'm gonna take you to. I'm feeding you today, right? You know that. Okay.
Yay.
Your Serviteca
Where they be at?
over on Culver. They're
Okay,
good. They're
one's
wonderful.
growling. So there's Josephine Baker, and she's standing there looking so
There it is.
divine
There
and
it is.
beautiful.
There it is.
Look
There
at
it is.
look at this.
Beautiful.
This she's so iconic,
This-
and she
maybe I can blow it up
is
bigger.
scantily clad,
Look at those.
but she is a beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful human being. And look under the look at my caption. I did not pin this caption. Scroll up just a little bit. Nudity empowers some. Modesty, and I put that in quotations, empowers some. Different things empower different women, and it is not your place to tell her which to choose. I feel like, in my experience, living as what God made me to be, if I came out the womb with clothes on, then maybe I would feel like it is, more comfortable for me to wear clothes. But I came out the womb with nothing. And for me, I always go by a scripture in Job. It says, naked I came, naked I go. And so we don't come here with anything, and we leave here with nothing. And I think the most humble and most enlightened way to live is to recognize your nothingness, recognize your humility. When people judge you for taking off your clothes or putting them on, that's them not recognizing the humility of our existence. And that's my personal take. And that's why I don't feel it's right to exploit Melania for her pictures just to prove a point about how modest Michelle Obama was. Because they're both women, and they both have their own empowering right to express themselves. That's my personal opinion.
Wonderful point. Wonderful point. We've pointed out before how uniquely uptight Americans about some things. As a pediatrician, I've been championing the rights of women to simply breastfeed their children. And you would be shocked at the pushback. Here, y'all can watch titties in every other form,
Right.
but don't let an infant suckle at them. The most natural thing in the world, you're freaking the hell out. Give me a break. Grow then. Then grow. These are the things that would bother me. Tiara.
Yes.
So you two, now, first, Gia, and by the way, admit that Gia was not what you thought. Okay? I told you guys. That's why I asked them. They were shocked. But no, I know these minds to some degree. So I kind of knew you would get something.
Excuse me.
So Tiara, too, young, gifted, talented. Both of these women, by the way, are entrepreneurs, actively running their own businesses. Not business, businesses. Okay? Both of these young ladies, okay? Don't get it twisted at any minute that they don't know how to take care of business and run their own stuff, because they, trust me, they are running it today. Now, so Tiara, so tell them now. I want you to know what bugged you about this election.
I only have one worry, and people mess up. We make wrong decisions all the time. If I were Melania, if I were to choose to plagiarize or to steal someone's material, I wouldn't do it to the woman who is the wife of the president that is in transition. Like, there's so many other people in the
cheating
world.
with somebody's sister,
right? Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because it can go. There's no way that cannot be undetected. There's no way. Like, literally, no. Like, for the past 8 years at least, everything has been under, a lamp or a microscope for these two people. And now you go and do this. There's so many
she
people
may
in the
not be
world.
the smartest cookie.
She is not the smartest.
And that's one thing I can validate that.
I would
But,
say it's not all her fault, because
She didn't
has
choose
a team.
any of that either,
She
you
has
guys.
a team, and they should be smarter.
No, let's be specific. Her man looked over that speech. He's Donald
Right.
Trump.
He should
Is
be
he
smarter.
He ain't
Her
gonna let
team should
nobody
be
else
smarter.
decide nothing, right?
But
He
what
go,
if
baby,
what if
give
he
me my
did
girl's
that?
speech.
Then he set
What
her
if
up.
he did that because what if he did that because he doesn't like Obama? Maybe that was like a little.
But you're throwing your wife.
He
under
still
the
did it.
bus.
He still did it.
But I'm saying, what if he did that on purpose?
Smart.
I think he did do it on purpose.
Trump is a smart man. He is not stupid.
It was
by
done
any
on
means. He's
purpose.
divisive.
He didn't think it would have the impact it did. He's even joking. It doesn't bother him. He's joked about
He
it,
is
right?
a joke. everything that comes out of his mouth. He
But-
literally said, "I will run for president as a part of the Republican Party because they are the stupidest voters. They're the
Well,
dumbest
then,
people."
it
He
worked.
said that.
It worked.
We know that. We all know.
So are we admitting that how many votes went to him?
Oh God, I don't know.
25.6% of our population is that dumb, or do they actually have a valid reason of why they did not vote for the other party?
I always
just because
assume
it's
it's a valid reason, and I also okay, you guys. This is where I'm different. May help some of y'all. I always try to imagine myself as my enemy because I always attempt to understand their every move. Let me give you a better example. Try hard to put yourselves in the shoes of the people you love, like your woman or your man. If you want to not fight with them, take a quiet moment and try to imagine yourself in their world, working with you, working around you, dealing with your bullshit, sleeping with you. Imagine just take an hour or so to imagine yourself as them. Smoke a joint. Smoke a joint. Get a drink.
all the time.
Right. And then imagine yourself as the person you love. That'll give you the strength to change. So I imagine myself as my enemies in order to understand why they do what they do. Always. I've been doing this since I was a teenager. So you need to understand if it's a mystery. If you're going, I don't know why. You need to do
Then
some
you're
work.
stupid. Oh,
okay.
I'm
See,
sorry.
I said it in a more constructive
unaware.
way.
You're unaware.
Well, work at understanding their
Your
point of view.
self-awareness is
You're
low.
dismissing their concerns. That's the mistake to me. That part of what the Democrats have done all along is that you're dismissing the concerns much in the same way to me as they dismissed our concerns. It's exactly the same way. You decide it's not that important. You just think you put it on the list of things to do.
You railroad your own agenda, thinking that the other people are gonna go silent, and they did. They silently went into that booth and chose against your railroading and your bullying.
Well, that's the part that irritates me. Let me tell you some of the just more technical things. One, Bernie Sanders' campaign was sabotaged from the beginning because the DNC had already decided, even before any primaries, that Hillary was going to be the candidate. To a degree that the WikiLeaks reports that came out, the emails that came out, showed the pattern how they were actually laughing, making fun of Bernie Sanders. It made no difference how big a movement he had. He was never going to have the support of the DNC.
Unfortunately.
That's what it showed you. The leadership of the DNC, once dismissed, went to work for Hillary. They got dismissed for doing violations that supported Hillary, and of course, Hillary gave them a job. That's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, Donna Brazile, head of the DNC, whatever the exact title, I have it somewhere, and a journalist was sneaking Hillary the debate questions, and she still underperformed. I'm sorry. No offense. They're sneaking you the debate questions. So those of us, the problem I have is that the supporters I know of hers take no time whatsoever to even consider the complaints that we have against her. The people that I know in my own family who support her don't want to hear any complaints of her.
They don't even know her policies,
They don't even care.
They don't
my
care.
mother, I love my mother. Mom, you don't care. Okay? You don't
All
care.
you want is a woman Democrat.
No.
That's it. You're like, oh, she's a woman. She's a Democrat. Okay,
Right.
check my box.
Even-
they want their politics on autopilot.
But Gia, this is the only people I give a break are old black folks. Now why? Because my mother and them, they've been waiting so long. They've been through so much shit. If they want to have Obama shrine, like my mother has like a table with a picture, Michelle, Barack, a candle, a cross. They have,
A rosary,
right.
some
She has
incense
Obama
burning.
shrine. My mother has Obama
A
shrine.
Buddha.
Now, I can go there
Some
argue with my
oranges.
mother, but she deserves the right to go on and be on that. It's like when you go over those black people's house and they have all the military pictures on the mantle. It's like a whole row of like 8 people in military. And I'm having a whole different feeling about that, which makes me sad. Okay? And they're proud of it, but it makes me sad. So there we go. But I'm careful about, how people view those. So there's the people who defend her. That's my main thing, is that they don't want to hear. And the other thing is that they actively, even though I've had a number of people apologize, they just tell you, they just dismiss independence as being of no value. So I said, how are we going to rebel against the two-party system if y'all won't consider it at all? At all. You know, here's what's so amazing. When you say that you are against Hillary, they automatically assume you support Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't think you're independent. That's what pisses me off, because they don't think. Okay? So when I say I'm against Hillary, the crook, you say, why are you supporting Trump?
That's not the same.
You know, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So these are some of the things that piss us off. So again, what about the future, though? Ladies, you want to go first here? I saw you starting to say something.
I don't know. Like, I'm not very big into politics. I'll say that. I'm not.
You did wonderfully.
Thank you. I'm not very big into politics, and especially this election. It was overwhelming. It was bickering. It was a lot of
You
bickering.
were affected. So
yeah.
no one's going to be into it.
Everyone was
Everybody young
affected
says they're not
emotionally.
into it, but they're watching.
Either you were annoyed,
right,
or you were supportive of either end, and it was very emotionally draining. I feel this election. So as far as the future, I'm not really I'm still trying to figure out what it means. Like, for the first 100 days of Trump being president, what happened?
I think everybody's trying to do that, even the so-called experts.
Right, and so the day after the election, I was scared because there was nothing on social media. The people were quiet.
I was depressed. I didn't turn on TV. I turned right to monster movies, zombies.
And usually you can tell the general sentiment of people from social media, and there was nothing. Like, literally, I woke up 7 a.m. like, I don't know what's going on. I can't tell.
Yeah. We watching zombies.
Feel. So I don't really know.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't really. People are in awe, and people are scared because Trump is.
My mother was sick. I almost needed to go over with medicines and shit or something.
I am not sick of
what
happened. I am annoyed. I'm more sick of the people acting like it's so stupid.
I think it's right to protest in the streets, though, because that's activism, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think it's right? I mean, any cause when you're that upset, you should be able to go to the streets.
But, okay,
any cause.
My thing is, he won fair and square.
So, that's whose rules? I can throw that all out as fair and square by whose rules?
By the rules of the government.
They give you a choice of two. They give you a choice of two, which is bullshit anyway already.
There were
a lot of people who did not vote.
There were 3 other people on the ballot, and people voted for Harambe. So clearly,
I'm only saying
that
I believe in the rights of citizens to take to the streets and protest anything.
Okay,
anytime you feel
but that's after the fact.
Okay,
I'm just saying at any point in time.
Okay.
I think that you, the citizen, should be able to take to the streets.
If you want to go in the streets and protest, okay, but
I'm just supporting their right.
I'll be at home.
I will be at home because this is the thing.
You know what you did.
Walking around in the streets is going to do nothing. 1, 2.
Ooh, I didn't know y'all was going to be going there.
To have futile protests. I mean,
for what? Wait, Miss Leftist woman. Why they futile? Why they see no offense? See, this is what I'm saying. Why they futile? Gia, you remember who you sitting here with? Why they futile? They are not futile.
Because
we don't know.
I will tell you why it's futile.
Why it's their opinion.
I will tell you why it's futile. It is 1, crying over spilled milk, and 2,
is that what it is?
No, we know how to change power, but we do not do that. Walking in the streets is gonna do nothing because the people in power are gonna be like, okay, let's just wait another month and they'll simmer down.
Yeah,
and they do simmer down. So we already know how people are going to react. They're gonna walk in the streets, cause all these problems, tear up buildings or whatever. For what? When you know how to change policies and you know what you need to do on a personal level, a community level, and a global governmental level to actually make change. And walking around in the streets is not going to do that.
Right.
Rather you have the right to walk around in the streets or not.
You can't have the right from the same people you fighting against. Remember, I went to this.
Okay, but let's talk about.
They never give you a right.
Let's talk about fighting. Walking in the streets, is that really fighting the people who are making these policies? Are you in front of their houses? Are you messing up their day? No, you're messing up all the people around you.
These are the criticisms that go on.
But
And
If
these are-
you are going to attack directly.
Gia,
And that is why I
But
say.
Gia, you understand that these are the exact arguments that were given in the civil rights movements to not do it. That's the only reason I'm so damn old.
But
That
Okay,
I'm 13.
the
And
civil
I
rights
remember the
movement-
same arguments were being made. It was the same arguments.
I have
That
a
it's
question.
futile. You're getting out there. You're messing up our businesses.
Wait,
Go
no, that's not what I'm trying to say. Let me
Well-
just rephrase before we go to you. What I'm saying is, in the civil rights movement, they were not just walking around. One, they had organizations and they were doing things on a legal and policy level to push people to change. Right now, what we're doing is having people really act like crybabies.
Ooh.
And I am not for
I
the
agree.
crybaby
Okay, now you guys
system.
are pretty
I
honest.
agree.
Because
Let me-
once the tears are dried up, then what are you going to do?
Right. Are you going to go and have a tantrum after you get a whooping? Because
Exactly.
you're still mad? Like, you know what happened.
I'm amazed at this. Okay, the chat room is already weighing in on you all. We've heard from Candace, Renee Rice. We're hearing from Mac McAllister, Anaya, J. Roots, Miko, all of them. It's amazing the comments, mostly supportive of you all, even though I'm kind of still different from you all, you ladies. And as a child of the 60s, okay, we'll see.
I mean,
You are not different.
I just have a question. Like, okay, if we're planning a protest as a result of who won the election, what is the
Okay,
what
let me
is
give you
that-
the,
I don't
let me give you the
understand
historical.
what
Okay,
what
the
is that
historical.
gonna do?
Let me tell you what it really was in historical perspective. Mostly, it was the fact that you couldn't reach people. Imagine in the days of television back then, the difficulties in organizing. So one of the benefits of today is the ability to organize. One of the things that the demonstrations allow you to get, no matter whether you're talking about Black Lives Matter or Occupy Wall Street, is to get that coverage that gets you into the hearts and minds of the American public and worldwide. Because the reality that is that these movements or political stances are actually wars for the minds of the public out there.
I agree.
And so one of the things that the useful, I mean, just the historical basis here, because I'm just, because it is how
No,
it
go
started
ahead,
coming to
please,
be.
please.
The historical basis was to get yourself to let other people know. The people who you assume are not active back in the
Mm-hmm.
days of the civil rights movement, the black people you thought were asleep. And what you were trying to do is let them see you get your ass kicked so they would feel guilty and feel like they too had to make a stand. For the civil rights movement, it works very effectively. You let everybody in America see you get your ass kicked, hosed down, beat with dogs, all of that. Because what happened is it does galvanize people. That's how you got even your Black Lives Matter movement. Because
But this is
that's
a
how
new day.
demonstration works.
This is
This
a
is the
new
issue
day.
that I
Go
have.
ahead.
I'm never will I say that I'm against people organizing for a positive cause or for a push of change. I'll never say that I'm against that. My thing is, why do it now? Why didn't you do that when the election or when the electoral process started? Why are you getting mad at organizing now? If you knew Trump was up to run for president-elect, why didn't you make a change in the beginning? Why
There was protests going on.
I was about to say,
But
thank
they
you.
were not. They
I
were
would suggest
not
these are the
as,
ones who were at the convention.
aggressive.
These are the ones
But
who were
I
at
don't see
the
a protest as
convention.
being effective, because if that's the case, then somebody else should have ran for
Well,
president.
this is the arguments that people I know made against the Occupy Wall Street movement. Look what they were saying was the criticism of that. It had no leadership. They didn't want a leadership. They didn't have a specific set of demands. So people were arguing that it was of no value. I don't know if that's... We can examine that on a different show. Everybody gets a little chance to look at it and have some of their own opinion. Okay. But remember, that was the criticism too of the Occupy Wall Street, considered by many, including me, to at least be valid criticisms, even though they had their own responses. That movement had their own responses, but those are the kinds of criticisms that movements get. That's true.
Because
can
they
I
are
say
movement,
this though?
the nature of movement.
We are in
I
a different age. We are in the information technology age.
Different than any age ever.
And the reason why there is a problem with protesting is because we don't need the information anymore. The information is right there in front of
Right.
us. The overdosing of media, what it's doing is desensitizing people. When they see these people getting beat up or killed, they look at it and they don't realize it's triggering trauma and entertainment and glamorization of dehumanization of people.
Right.
So right now, what's going on is we're having an overload of violent information or information that's negative, and we are desensitizing ourselves to it as a mechanism to basically cope with all of what's going on.
Now, which media,
And- exactly.
Gia, but think about this, though, because there seems to be part of this whole thing a changing trend. Which media? The public seems to respond very differently to citizen journalists who are posting their own reports at the scene.
It still
So that's-
doesn't matter what it's doing to your. It doesn't matter if
You're
it's
still against
mainstream.
that? You're against that, though?
I am not against it. What I'm saying is people need to understand when you look at violence or when you look at these atrocities that are going on, it's almost like a drug. It's like it's bad for you, but you're taking it and now you're addicted
So
to it.
should
You're
they show
addicted
it?
to the pain.
But should they show it, Gia? Is there a responsibility?
Yeah.
Gia, let me try to make it more personal.
I think there is some
You're walking down the street, you, Gia Ford, and you see a man get into an argument with the police. You trying to go get some fruit from fruit
Okay.
juice, but you can't help it. You can't help it. It's attracting your attention. The cop
I've never
proceeds
been-
to beat his ass. The man
If-
that you're right there in front of. Now, I know Gia Ford. Is your phone coming out? Are you videotaping this, Gia? What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I'm okay.
I know you
That's
got-
a different. It's.
But would
the
you
only-
report on it, Gia?
Would I report
You're
on
right
it
there.
or would
You're-
I record it?
You're the one who's right there. The cop.
Because I've
you
been
see it go
assaulted
down.
by a cop
right.
before.
So have I. I've been to jail.
I've been to jail too.
Okay.
We don't have to go that far. But what I'm saying is, for me to just take a picture of it, that does nothing.
I didn't say just take a picture. I said,
Or
what
a
would
video.
you? And posting that online?
No, I would not post
that
it
might
online.
lead to justice.
No, it doesn't. What leads to justice is us having legal representation.
Well, that's-
okay, is having witnesses that are actually valid witnesses that can
That's two
stand there
very
for two,
difficult standards.
3 years of
Right.
litigation.
That's two very difficult standards to phrase. To street gone. That's,
To be-
That's difficult shit.
And that's what I'm saying. You go protesting in the street, you don't have no lawyers, you don't have nothing. You have nothing to fight. The real fight is not walking in the streets. The real fight is having a community that has all of the mechanisms of government to support itself.
Right.
And that's what I have a problem with. We're out here wasting our resources on the wrong things. You're taking videos, but you don't even have any lawyers. And you're posting this, so that's honestly, from a legal standpoint, it's actually drowning your case, because as soon as you put things on mainstream, it actually makes it so that some of your evidence may not even be valid in the court of law. So that's a whole nother story, right?
I reserve the right to
unfortunately.
respond to this later. I'm going to come to Tierra now because we have to go to another topic
Okay.
still.
So
So
I
I
can
want to
wrap
go
it
to,
up.
yeah,
can
it's your
wrap it
turn
up.
because Gia just, remember, that's why I got Gia. Remember I told you, Gia's like, girl, I
She's
know
gonna
you,
stretch it out and I'm
Gia.
gonna tie the end,
Yeah, she's got
so.
plenty to say, and that's, again, I love, that's why Gia Ford is here. First, give her a clap. Yeah, that's why Gia Ford is here.
I don't want to make anyone
And you can read her chest,
No,
too.
you're doing
While
it
you're
for
doing
time.
no, you do, girl. You did it passionate, and your passion. We are not supposed to agree. We don't have to agree at all. That's what I love, the difference of opinion. Let's go to Tierra Nicole Taylor. Let her wrap up this subject because we got to talk about weed.
Okay. Okay, so
Your point of view. I mean, you don't have to
My
summarize
point of
us.
view on-
Summarize you.
my point of
Just,
my point
yeah,
of
you're
view
the
on
last
everything,
person who gets to speak on this.
as far as
Whatever you want to talk on.
protests and all that.
Yes.
I'm never against protests. I always say that. Do what you want to do. I am not going to be out in the street. I like to be at home. I like to be safe. I'm not confrontational. Other people can do that. That's fine. But I agree with Gia in saying that there should be other processes in place to where you shouldn't even have to protest, honestly. But you're protesting for what? Because you had so much time to do something before. There's nothing wrong with the protest now. But because we're in the information age, it's the timing. You choose to organize after you have a reason to be mad.
we have to be proactive about protecting ourselves.
Right.
You know,
and from the get go, and because we are so inundated with information and with media and with civil media.
Yeah.
There's just more ways to do things earlier and to be more preventative of things like this. Because people are going to get mad, they're going to fall out and cry in the street, and that's fine. But why now?
As a child of the 60s, on a different show at a different time, I'll relate my love of protest. And so it is. And that's part of why we do this. Remember why I do this too? I wanted specifically to have the opinions of youth versus age.
There's
because
nothing wrong with protesting.
Yeah,
and you have to have more behind it.
It's just a sign of the times.
You have to have more organization.
Right.
Behind
This
it.
is 2000.
Well, that's what you guys.
And Martin Luther King had
many
lawyers,
resources.
and the NAACP was
Well,
on
other
fire
folks
back
brought
then.
that. Other folks brought that. You guys don't know that in the civil rights movement, a whole bunch of folks did not want him to lead it. There were actually a whole contingent of lawyers and bourgeois black folks who said, "Are we really going to let a black preacher lead our movement?"
Oh, why not?
Really?
Why not?
They had, from what I have read, some very almost violent discussions and debate because a bunch of the Northerners did not want a Southern preacher to lead the movement. Just saying that made them bristle. Just saying.
And that's an issue.
And that's a big. That's
and you
a
can
whole
imagine black folks
nother
back then.
problem.
If you know black folks today, you can imagine black
The
folks
separation
then,
of church
and
and
you
state
know
is
they
an
felt
issue.
like that. Okay,
I feel like
North versus South, all of that.
Yep.
All right, second topic. We going over, and I would already. This one we won't be as long. Let me review for you the things that are changed, and there's a bunch of places that you can go and view and take a look at everything. Okay. Let's see y'all.
That's he has.
Are you
his
asleep?
You have
own.
your own?
Do you see?
Yes.
Oh no, I couldn't.
I have my own. I have my own marijuana because I smoke and I do it. And part of letting people know was actually coming out the closet was I was challenged. You know that it was my responsibility as a physician to let people know of the beneficial qualities and why I smoke weed. And I do smoke weed. And I'm not unproductive. I will roll a joint, make a pot of coffee, and outwork 95% of you. No doubt. Okay? All right? So don't even try going there while smoking weed. Okay? Outperform you and the rest of your division. Okay? Okay? Now, don't even try going there. Okay? I built this shit. Okay? Now, what marijuana does for us. Thank God that it's now legal recreational marijuana. I'll give you the shorter version in the interest of time. Legally, you can possess marijuana. You can grow marijuana. You cannot sell marijuana. You cannot smoke marijuana in public. You cannot drive or operate vehicles, other machinery under the influence of marijuana, okay? All right? So some of this will be an issue. One, the smoking in public. Don't try to walk down the street for a joint. You're an idiot. You'll get arrested. Now, if you're, however, at a reggae concert, I don't know what to tell you. That's smoking in public. But they were smoking in those before. Because I was at them. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. Proposition 64, this is what allowed. What is specific, too, is that as a medical marijuana user, as I have been, that I am allowed to purchase marijuana at the top grade is like $35 an eighth. I can be generous. Are you kidding? And the price is about to go down. They're looking at $20, $15 an eighth for the top shit.
On the street right now.
I feel like it's gonna go up.
No, because here's what's happening. The bulk people are pulling in, about to grow huge acreages of marijuana. The ironies are, you have communities where they have corners where people have been selling weed for 20, 30 years. On them same corners, they have busted many a brother over 30 years.
Right. So it's like, do you bust them now?
No, because today that same corner in Oakland has a huge dispensary that is owned by non-black people. Now the point being, that's okay. We're not against white folks owning business. It's just that the irony is when you step back and look at the community where they were overly policed, overly prosecuted, now not even profiting on that. So here's the ironies that come about.
That's my disdain with that proposition, because I feel like there should have been more as far as creating some type of amnesty or some type of process for those that were penalized and policed over that over criminalized over weed. I feel like as a black person, it's like almost a slap in the face.
So what do you do with all these people that are incarcerated now just for weed?
Well,
we're incarcerated, or their families were broken
Exactly.
apart
Affected.
over a plant. Like,
Are you
see
kidding?
my
The city
shirt
of-
in plants we trust.
Well, the city of Oakland has a proposition that looks like it's going to be approved, where if you want to actually open a dispensary in the city of Oakland, if you have a previous arrest for marijuana or drugs, you get a plus.
Yeah.
You get preferential treatment.
Okay.
If you
well,
have previously been
We need some
incarcerated
redemption.
for
Okay.
drugs, you get a plus towards having a dispensary. You
Okay.
get extra points toward getting into these programs.
credit.
Right. So all of that. So that's just specifically the city of Oakland. I wanted to bring that up because that is new and unique. But also to remind everybody, like you said, of the ironies that there are people of color over-policed, over-prosecuted, in jail while this goes down. Now, part of the laws in California, you have the right to apply for a redress. But that means you need money, get a lawyer, convince
See
your
how they do that
people
part?
to get a redress. See, here's the thing. You got to apply for the redress.
They're not gonna tell you can have it.
And you can have the redress of your charges. Those things are available right now. Yeah, so legally be careful. Don't transport marijuana between state lines. Go to places where they have marijuana. Like when I went to Amsterdam, I arrived in Amsterdam, and within 2 hours of arrival, I had a coffee and a joint in front of me at one of the most famous coffee shops in the world. So you can have that too. Also, legally, I am allowed to share marijuana with my guests. So Pack Stereo, as a company policy, no longer in the dark room. When you come and you're a guest on our show, you don't have to smoke. Of course, we're not trying to push marijuana on anybody.
Peer pressure.
Right, there's no peer pressure. Most of the women I've been with never did smoke. Save me some money in that area, at least. But we will have it here for our guests. And I will roll a big fat one and put it out there for our guests.
This is a very hefty,
Healthy.
situation.
It's good weed. Best hot.
It's really healthy.
best-
This is not a baby blunt. This is like
By no means.
It has some weight on it.
Yes.
That's one to wake you up with your
Yes.
morning coffee.
Okay, just so you know, Tierra, you know how we came about with morning coffee? We all
I
had to
know.
come out with shows, right? I used to get up in the morning, smoke weed in my underwear, and watch the news.
With
Read
a
the
cup of
paper,
coffee.
watch the news with a cup of coffee. And be cussing like a mother. God damn. Oh, shit, ain't this guy.
Looking at the pictures.
All that. So now I do this, and we back full circle. All right, you guys. I'm Ari Hensley. Give it up again. That was a wonderful discussion. Proposition 64, you guys. I'm moving on because it's taking forever. The good news, the bad news, the other shit. Gia Ford, she needs to go get some assertiveness training. Gia Taylor. Yeah.